Humans are complex creatures, but our brain is more powerful than you can imagine. Being one of the most important organs, our brain is responsible for our ability to do anything at all. But there are a number of remarkable things our brain can do that will leave you in awe. Welcome to Facts for Days. Today we're taking a look at the top 10 surprising facts about the human brain that will show you how different we are from all living beings. So, let's see what our brain does apart from controlling every thought and action of ours. Number 10. Fat makes up for more than half of your brain. When we go about our day, completing our daily chores, we never stop to think about how the powerhouse of our body works. Most of us are not even aware of what our brain is made up of. But it's a fascinating thing because over 60% of our brain is simply made up of fat. If you watch a lot of sci-fi movies, you might think that your brain will be something like a computer. However, that's not true at all, because our brain is the fattiest organ we have. That's why it's important to not only feed your body, but your brains as well. Our brains need a lot of amino acids and nutrients to keep working at that total capacity. So, next time you're thinking of recharging your brain, get a meal full of proteins and vitamins. Number 9. How many thoughts do we get every day? This is a question that has been asked countless times. We think and do so much stuff every day, but yet, our brains always stay sharp. On an average day, your brain is still producing over 17,000 thoughts, even if you're just relaxing. So next time you have a big test or a long day coming up, make sure you're taking care of your brain. If the number of thoughts in your brain surprised you, wait till you find out that your brain makes a new connection every time you have a new thought. Think of it as a mental exercise to keep your brain sharp. Whenever you're spending more time on a math problem, millions of neurons are firing to create new pathways. This is why it's easy for humans to adapt to new situations and form new habits. Because our brains never stop evolving. You can use this fact as a motivator to start learning a new instrument. Number 8. Your brain grows in size. Many people think that having a big brain means that you're more intelligent than the rest of your peers. But researchers shows that the size of your brain does not always mean more intelligence. An average brain only weighs about 3 pounds, and that's the same size as a half gallon of milk. However, when we are at the developmental age, our brain grows in size, just like the rest of our body. Research has proved that by the time we are on our first birthday, our brain grows 3 times in size. But it takes your brain almost 25 years to reach its final size and potential. So yes, it's completely true that our brains keep growing with us. Number 7. Storage capacity. If our brains work just like a computer, then what's the storage capacity? Well, another fascinating fact about your brain is that its capacity is unlimited. It's impossible that if you work and study more, your brain will get fed up one day. That's because with every new thought, our neurons form a new connection. Over time, all these billions of neurons keep increasing your brain storage capacity. So, there is no way that one day your brain will simply give up on you. There are hundreds of reasons why our brain is considered the smartest organ. An average human brain is full of thousands of trillions connections. Number 6. Power generated by your brain. Did you know that your brain can generate enough power to light up a bulb? That's 23 watts of power that are produced by your brain when you're awake. But that means you need to get adequate sleep for your brain to work at its full potential. Your brain is responsible for your ability to breathe, think, eat, and do anything physical. But it needs the necessary nutrition and rest. When you get a full night of sleep, the pathways in your brain stay maintained and sharp. That's why sleep deprivation can lead to a lot of health issues and memory problems. When you keep depriving your brain of complete rest, there is a build-up of protein that has been linked to causing Alzheimer's in old age. So, make sure you're getting enough sleep and protein. Number 5. Can your brain multitask? This has been argued for ages because some people believe that their brains are good at multitasking. However, this isn't true at all. Your brain can't do two things at once, but it prefers switching from one task to another. For instance, if you're focused on a task and you get distracted, a switch flicks off inside your brain. It will take about 30 minutes to get back to focus state you were in. However, don't let this slow you down because it's completely healthy for your brain to get distracted and wander. This is what keeps you focused for longer periods. Research has shown that daydreaming is also healthy because there is parts of your brain that are always wandering, even when you're resting. Number 4. At 40, your brain starts shrinking. You learn that your brain grows in size when you're younger, but once you reach the age of 40, your brain actually starts to shrink. However, this doesn't mean that you will get dumb as you grow. We have already established the fact that the size of your brain has nothing to do with intelligence. There are still a lot of things you can do to prevent any regression in your brain's activity, such as people who indulge in brain-challenging activities, like games, are at a lower risk of developing dementia. So, whether you're old or young, it's equally important to look after your brain and stay mentally and physically active. Number 3. Full of billions of neurons. Have you ever wondered how many stars there are in the Milky Way galaxy? Well, the same amount of neurons we have inside our brains. That amounts to over 100 billion neurons and stars. You might think that these neurons take all the space, but they only take 10%. We already knew that 60% of our brain is fat, and another 10 is full of billions of neurons. This may take you back to the famous myth, we only use about 10% of our brains, but this is far from the truth. Just like the rest of our body, we use different parts at different times. Our brains doesn't work the same, so who knows, you might be using more than 10% during different tasks. Number 2. Your brain can't feel anything. This fact is one of the most surprising ones, as it's hard to believe. Usually, when we undergo any medical procedure or surgery, we have to be under anesthesia, so we don't feel any pain. But our brains can get surgery done while we're completely awake. That's because there are no pain receptors inside our brains, so we can't feel anything. You can check out videos of surgeons performing on the brain and the patient is awake and responsive. Without any pain receptors, it's impossible for our brains to feel any sensation of touch or pain. How cool is that? Number 1. Jelly-like texture. All these surprising facts about your brain. But do you want to know what your brain feels like? Our brains have a firm texture just like jelly. Your brain is very soft to touch and it's actually floating inside your skull. It is surrounded by cerebrospinal fluid and doesn't come in contact with any bone. So next time you're thinking about the complexity of your brain, don't forget that it's just as squishy as jelly. This makes your brain one of the softest organs that you have. So, there you have it. Let us know which fact surprised you the most in the comment section.